हो गया सर।
पैक हो गया
ये टेप नहीं लगाया
बहुत है। पार्किंग तक भी नहीं जाने देंगे तो
टिश्यू दो पड़ा
मेरे तो पार्किंग तक भी नहीं जाने देंगे। ये तो पार्किंग तक भी नहीं जाने देंगे।
काम जाना।
अरे सामने पार्किंग करिए।
नहीं सर चले जाओ।
1 मिनट रखवा दो साथ में आके। मेरे हाथ में मोबाइल और पॉपकॉर्न है ना, और कोई बात नहीं, गिर जाएंगे। यार वो यहाँ पार्क करनी चाहिए था मुझे। वो रेफ्रिजरेटर
अच्छा
आगे रेफ्रिजरेटर पड़ा है ना।
हाँ जी इधर लेके
इसलिए मैंने पूरा नहीं देखा। अरे वो पॉपकॉर्न गिर जाए और कोई बात नहीं। वो सामने लाल गाड़ी है ना, इधर अंदर अंदर से आ जाओ, जाने आएगा। इनको भगा दो यहाँ से, ये भगा दो यहाँ से। हेड ऑफिस भी इनका खाली करा दो, पीछे हेड ऑफिस भी है ना इनका। ये नहीं सबका, ये तुम्हारा बिजनेस खराब करते हैं। आगे देख फटाफट। ओफो straight out. Here is the head office also. That's Sector 2, Panchkula. They belong to mosque demolition group. They are fresh aliens. And they will chase me to my car till my house. You can say that. How many state officers they have surrounded my car from all sides. You can see one of the air. All of these are mosque demolition group. They have a head office also. Their leader is known as Fake Shiv or Namo Dog. You can see that. They will keep on chasing. You can see it from all sides. Head office at Sector 2, Panchkula. Which was constructed by Manmohan Singh government. But these there were about 27 and most of them possess 9273. From the system of cleanliness drive, they succeed to create a lot of troubles throughout the country. Let's see if they will surround from all sides opposite the house also. Another supporter inside my house will rant nonsense whenever it will see tea in my hands. ले लो चाय ले लो हैं तो भी ले लियो चाय That person belongs to secular party, and he has opened a vegetarian and non-vegetarian food outlet. And these place Indians belonging to mosque demolition group are annoying each and every business establishment throughout the country. They used to bark, spit, and throw fecal matters from their bodies all throughout the day. In each and every place of the country, their leader is known as Namo, dog. You must have seen there was no kind of cleanliness drive, and from 142 to 71, 178 to 142, then to 71. That was a hype created by masses today. The ranking is just a hype and wrong information, wrong statistics is used to get that. It's game classic. I'm hitting music on 6 I bought a short while ago. These kind of flashes are existing in this country 20 or 25 or more than 25, about 27 state of wisdom. Maybe about 7 people in class. How are you? The roadside vendors who used to sell these popcorns are also being annoyed and tortured by these precious. About 15 people died in a factory located in Bangladesh, and about 4% died in Shalimar Bagh. Hello, how are you? Did you visit Liberia again? Another leader of this country who managed to get immense promotion during agitations which were meant to get justice for metallic rape victim. Nowadays he is promoting fresh air and mocking the civilians, the citizens by keeping indoor plants in his house and promoting them as the only solution for future generation, thereby mocking while other broadcasting channels are highlighting onion dreams and mocking poor people. The quantity of milk become insufficient during winter days, due to which I bought 2 glasses of tea from nearby restaurant. And when I was about to leave, about 25 to 27 stray dogs started chasing me. Then I ran towards the same restaurant again. And requested their waiter to accompany me, since I was holding popcorn in one hand and mobile in another hand. That's why it was difficult to carry 2 glasses of tea. These flesh Indians or cockroaches love the stray dog menace because they rarely used to marry. They used to get sexual privileges through these kind of pet dogs only. Most of the girls in Tri-City used to insert the penis of the dogs in their vaginas. You must have seen. And they used to expose also. Even my own neighbors used to tell about these kind of girls. After all, they are cockroaches and insects only. They are not living beings. They are not mammals at all. They have become animals. They love these kind of stray dogs, and whenever they become monotonous, they used to strand them. They used to keep them or throw them in nearby lanes, and where they used to annoy each and every person, especially tourists. They are not accustomed to daily taste. That's why these kind of dogs used to chase them. They love Tri-City people who are stray dogs only and cockroaches. After all the Indians are cockroaches only. Even I will keep on working for them throughout the life. You must have seen in library was also developed today only, just for the sake of humanity and welfare of beings. But these fleshes don't deserve. Indians don't deserve any kind of cooperation or any kind of humanity from the world. She's sleeping in the another room. It's 11 p.m. I went to buy milk, but it was not available. All the lazy people had already slept. One of the restaurant who seems to be hard-working reality was still open, and then I bought 2 glasses of tea. It was not extraordinary or and different for me. Stray dogs started chasing me. How do you like this library? I rearranged all the books today only. You can see that all the books are properly placed. Otherwise, they were kept haphazardly here and there. That's why I was tired and I was feeling to drink some tea. But since the milk was extinguished, I went to nearby shop. Now I will spend the rest of the night in designing websites. Till then, I will interact with all of you. Today is the 7th anniversary of Delhi gang rape, in which an innocent girl was raped brutally by four cruel Indian cockroaches who inserted metallic rod in her vagina while traveling in a bus only. I had already exposed the conspiracies of mosque demolition group to my college friend after joining a secular party in 2009, but I tried my best to prevent that brutality. And then you will ask, how did you try your best? I kept on You can see abundant tweets to Octavia Spencer about 4 months prior to Delhi gang open areas and during winter when they get superior jobs or posted or supporting them only, who have mutually become united. The promotional companies, advertisement companies belonging to their supporters only. And one of that foolish dwarf and obese flesh who used to collect immense bribe from schools and universities managed to reach my school in which I studied till 12th grade. And then he started ranting in favor of mosque demolition group leader, the dog or Namo, the fake Shiv. He provided immense respect to that dog to challenge secular parties. The same person tweeted today, providing wrong information to innocent cockroaches, that the law enforcement team burned the buses. And the first name superimposition belonging to mosque demolition group working in India TV defended them. They want to promote them in any way. On other side, they are sitting to promote on the one side they are negatively promoting them, and then on the other side, first name logo superimposition belonging to mosque demolition group. Meaning of that name is pungent smell. Means if any first name's meaning is smell or pungent perfume, and then the innocent cockroaches will assume that it is a flower logo who produced that fumes and order. And if the first name of any person symbolizes, or it is meant that the meaning of the first name is perfume, then the people will realize that the truth is being promoted by the perfume of flower logo. The same group who is initiating violence in colleges, the same group is promoted by another paid media in in that form, or pungent smelling flower logo. One person was spraying air freshener in his own car without ventilating it. He ignited own cigarette and succumbed to injuries after his car was burned with a loud blast. And these flashes are very skilled in raising minor issues so that people will get distracted. They will create these kind of issues and intentionally bribe some people from opposition to raise those issues so that the main motives will get hidden and suppressed. For example, everyone knows that due to floods there was lesser production of onions, but they intentionally created a scenario in which the opposition started ranting against the prices, and when they felt humiliated they lost the ground. So now they are failing in raising those issues which every person have realized that these are natural disaster consequences of natural disasters. Now they have realized. Now they are there. Now the same people are mocking poor ones by introducing hashtags like dream onions or onion dreams. Now they are promoting the solutions from Turkey, that just because of these kind of dogs and pigs, the importers have managed to procure onions from Turkey. Otherwise, it was not possible at all. In reality, when there is immense demand, the traders used to find some solutions for their own profits, and they find the way out to get rid of shortages. There is no external help or any kind of infusion in the cycle of buying and selling. But since they want to keep memories of these flashes persistent in the minds of civilians, that tactics is being utilized everywhere in the whole world, but to more extremes in this country. I haven't seen anyone's expressions when stray dogs were barking, so it is difficult to tell whether they are positive towards me or not. But if I will read their faces, then I can find out. But most of these Indians don't possess real names, and they don't keep pictures in their profiles also. They used to watch me hiddenly without exposing themselves. That's why it has become practically impossible to continue relationships with own blood relatives, especially if they are not connected and they are not tech savvy, because you have that assumption in your mind forever till your death that they might be present anywhere, they might be watching me, and they are more aware about my schedule than I am. That is a drawback in terms of educational qualification. How can any person accept his privacy to get exposed enough, much lesser than the other relatives or friends, especially if they are not connected to you through video broadcasting? So, in today's world, there is no question of blood relationships. If you are living under a same roof, then it is an exception that you can continue the same relationships with them, even if they block you, even if you delete you, if they are not bothered to interact with you through any kind of technology. You can install intercoms, you can install Alexa in your another rooms, and they will broadcast your presence, they will broadcast the cooking, they will broadcast that okay, tea has been kept ready, you can collect it, I have already drank, or I have left the kitchen, I am inside my bedroom now, your tea was still left in the kitchen. You can keep on broadcasting through the Alexa in each and every room. But how can you imagine connecting with any person socially in your profile? There is no question of real life if a person is not present in your social. During extreme circumstances, it is an exception. For example, I kept on insisting my distant relative, you should not play access games. I can't warn him directly that you will get paralyzed. How can I say to such a negative? But my motive was definitely meant to keep that person away from any kind of distress or calamity or health hazard. Became a reality in about 3.5 months. For 2 months, I kept on insisting. For another 15 days, I was planning to visit his city, and for another 2 or 4 days, I visited that city. I kept on insisting his family. I kept on trying, but I failed. And when I returned back, in the meantime, I was I was thinking that I have returned from that place. It took about 7 or 8 days or 10 days. I might not have been tried my best. And what punish relatives? God. Concerns. That's why these kind of companies conversations are there, but you can't raise these kind of issues and drawbacks only. They don't blame any instance. Long broadcast and discussions on that better, but no one is bothered, and that company is still flourishing. Either people are not intelligent enough. What I am saying, they don't understand what I am saying. If you are not playing games, if you are broadcasting, you can remove one of hand, then exercise, then another hand you can exercise. But if you are playing games, you have to continuously look into that mobile screen and keep on punching the fingers on the different parts of the screen, like bubble shooter, another game that is so simple game, but that will not cause any health hazards. But there are abundant games which need high frequency movements of fingers and eyes, due to which you can't move your hands for a single instance, for a fraction of a second also. And when I met them again, then I informed them that doctors will not tell you the real sequence of event is the hand got paralyzed prior to the clot. It is not the clot which caused the hands and limbs to get paralyzed. That condition initiates from the hand, the till shoulder, and then a clot is developed afterwards. Even if that procedure takes about 1 or 1.2 seconds, but the sequence of event is like that only. That is why it is known as hand paralysis. It is not a nervous breakdown, and it is that medically it is a different procedure, and you know because you don't know the medical term of that problem. That's why you are thinking in other way. That is the difference, because you don't know the exact sequence of events. That's why you are treating the cause in a different manner. That's why you are treating it as own mistakes, not in terms of the fleshes who caused that mistake by intentionally introducing GST prior to the preparation, and due to which your son lost immense business and lost his grocery shop also. And just because of currency crisis, the nearby house owners started buying from the malls because they wanted to buy in the bulk. They don't want banks to charge hefty for each transaction, and they don't want higher denomination currencies in their pockets. If a person will withdraw 8,000 rupees, he will get 2,000 rupees denominations, and if he want to spend 2,000 or 4,200, he will still keep one higher denomination currency in his pocket, which he can't afford at all because of busy life. That's why the people started moving towards the malls. That was the only reason. And most the other reason was the immense queues in front of the ATMs, due to which your own son lost a business, and then you are criticizing that the person was addicted to games because he wanted to earn about $50 in 2 months. That is so ridiculous. Because of the unemployment, the person has no other option but to think that way. Since you thought that the clot was initiated and it resulted in the limbs paralysis, you didn't know the medical term of or the medical reason of that paralysis, which is caused by holding the mobile in one position and staring at it, and the eyes get enough more light than it can afford to tolerate. And the second attack is on the eyes. First attacks in the muscles and nerves of the arms, which cause eyes to flicker, and then a clot is created. because of the abnormal movement or flow of the blood towards the brain. When the nerves of the arms gets contracted, there is lesser movement of blood in the veins of the arms, which result in flickering of the eye, and the whole balance of the circulatory system gets hampered, and the blood can't flow properly in the brain, due to which the clot arises within 1.2 seconds. But since laymen can't differentiate between paralysis and hand paralysis, that's why they don't realize the real cause, and they are still appreciating the dog or the pig shiv. That's why I blocked the same victim also. And when I visited his house twice, once in the hospital, and even then, he can't realize. He said, in fact, you were encouraging me. I said, it's ridiculous. Now you are improving. You should be fearful of God. I am telling you clearly. Did I encourage you? He said, no, 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 no. I was just thinking, because he can't differentiate. He can't. He is not able to. His brain sense is not able to differentiate between the well-wisher and the dog or fig sheep, due to which thousands and millions of people are suffering in this country. 6 people died in Assam yesterday only. 36 girls died in Chhattisgarh during currency crisis. Even then, that dog hasn't been arrested. And you are appreciating because of the mass hysteria and the innocent mind. Even now, your brain is working in his favor only. Even now, you can't differentiate between the well-wisher who traveled about 120 kilometers in the midnight to meet you, who traveled about 252 kilometers towards Delhi in high speed, because he was bothered enough, and he broadcasted simultaneously, and I reached at that place to meet you, because he was crying also. He was feeling distressed in his own house. He is still anxious after about 1 year, 1.5 year, or 1.25 year. He's still bothered and still discussing, but even then you can't differentiate condition of other people who are suffering from mass hysteria, and they are not suffering to such extent. Either they have ended their lives or their girls, daughters, sisters, wives have ended their lives because of starvation. Imagine the conditions of those people who haven't suffered paralysis. You might have seen immense videos in which bikes of innocent Muslims were thrown and ransacked today only by that flesh first name exercise yoga. Or female gender of exercise first name. These kind of first names are being exploited like the first ray of the sun in India. They are being treated as goddesses. For example, a foolish husband who didn't succeeded in Bollywood also, who was present in nonsense movies. In one of the movies, Dil Hai Ke Manta Nahi, he that the foolish person threw immense currency while jumping on his own bed. He not even a single hair grew on his face, cheeks, or beard. He even after an age of 70 years, he doesn't possess any beard. And Gillette is promoting that flesh because his wife belongs to Mosque Demolition Group, who is a prostitute also. And through first name superimposition of the first ray of the sun, these flashes promoted good days. And many first name superimposition of sun rays reached my house also and managed to compel her to watch movies in a place which is filled with brothels. That's why I resisted that you should not visit that place which is filled with brothels all throughout, like Mani Majra. You can search Mani Majra Chandigarh. It is filled with brothels. There are about 1,000, more than 100 brothels located around One Republic. I wasn't bothered that any person is watching a movie with a teenager boys who are studying in or who are doing graduation or engineering. I wasn't bothered, especially if my own son is present. But I was concerned that they visited a place, but since they are not aware, that's why I didn't insisted my words. But I had responsible to tell them that you should not visit that place. Every good father will definitely tell. And how it has been kept here only. You can see that book also. You did take place. At the laws, which is located above then get conditioner repaired. I moved to another accessory shop where I found a person who said, okay, you have got that air conditioner repaired from there, and he was used. And once when I was planning to open a franchisee of a restore and a message for server, I was introduced to a for server or restore through franchisee agreement, which I had about 14 years ago in 2005 or 6 with Miss Maria Nathan. Miss Maria Nathan is also a CEO of Franchisee India, or the managing director or the chief of the Franchisee India, which had about 80 branches during those days. And that company Franchisee India used to introduce about 5 companies at a cost of 5,000 rupees. And if you are ready to open a franchisee with any of the 5 companies, then they will facilitate meetings with their owners. In 5,000 rupees, you will receive 5 meetings of the owners of franchisee providers. Okay, we visited Franchisee India office in Delhi, and Miss Maria Nathan, a dwarf girl, attended us, and she said, you should pay 5,000 rupees. I provided her a check of 5,000 rupees, and it was a 1-year agreement. And the first company which was introduced was Next, a sister concern of Dhoot or Videocon group, which has had a collaboration with Videocon. And then I was contacted by Mr. Manoj Didde. Manoj Didde was working in Next Electronics during 2006. He visited my house. He called me, and at that time I was closing my vacant showroom. I was planning to open an electronics showroom only. That's why I opted for that company as the first choice. Then he called me. I said, okay, I will meet you in my house only, because I have shut down this vacant showroom. It was a walking distance. He reached my house. I offered him tea. He was happy, and then it was a contract between us that, okay, I will pay about 12 lakhs for opening a franchisee with Next or a collaborative company of Videocon, Dhoot, Mr. Dhoot. He returned back without informing his schedule that where will he visit in about 20 minutes. Then I visited my showroom again. I was sitting on my chair, and in about 10 minutes I received a call like, okay, we will have increased the contract to about 14 lakhs. I thought for about 10 seconds. I said, okay, if I can pay 12 lakhs, I can pay 14 lakhs also. In about half an hour, he said, we have raised it to 16 lakhs. I said, to whom you are talking? I said, I have talked with my seniors. I said, it is not possible that if you have agreement with 12 lakhs and now you have increased to 14 lakhs and now you are again telling that you have raised to 16 lakhs. I have to design my showroom also. I have to spend on furniture and other electrical parts also. He said, okay, if you are ready, then tell me right now. Otherwise, I am cancelling the deal. It was a verbal deal with you. It was not a written agreement. I said, you should bear some humanity. It has only about 1 hour 45 minutes have been elapsed. You have left my house and you had a tea with me also, and don't blackmail me. I said, but I had to agree. I said, okay, I will pay 16 lakhs also. In about 1 hour, he said, we have raised it to 19 lakhs. I said, I can't pay 19 lakhs. I said, okay, tell me what is the real cause. I can't pay, but being a friendly person, tell me the real cause. He said, we have received an option, and I was just providing you in the form of tender. We have received a option from Samsung Electronics showroom in Paschim Bihar. I said it. I haven't contacted the seniors from next. You are the ones who are franchisee. But I forgot that. I said okay. And then I told my family that I am not planning to open next also. In about few weeks, the same Maria Nathan Bilo, who is working in franchise India, contacted me through email, and she said that okay, you have given another chance or the second chance to meet Agrani Group, assistant sister concern of ZTV. I said okay, I will reach Noida. Then I reached Noida in time. They offered me coffee, and then an agreement was kept in front of my table. And while drinking coffee, I read it, and clearly it was mentioned that you will be provided 5% of the revenue, 5% of the profit. If you say we will sell one mobile for 18,000 rupees, you will get 5%. And if it is had a profit of 1,000 rupees, you will get 5% of 1,000 rupees. Means for each mobile sale, you will get 5% of the profit. And all the investment, all this will be provided by Agrani Group only. And I was drinking coffee. I agreed. I was okay. I hadn't signed it, but I said okay. I have agreed. In about 20 minutes, they provided me another agreement to sign. I said, after reading that agreement again, there was not a single difference between both of the papers. All the four sheets present had all the terms and conditions. The only difference was 4.5% instead of 5%. It was a matter of self-respect. It was just a minor difference. I said, compare both the agreements. Both the agreements possess 4 pages, and one of them is mentioning 4.5%, which he said we have received effects from the Jawahar Goel, or the owner of this company, a short while ago, or Subhash Goel. Subhash Goel ji has sent effects a short while ago. Now the margin has been reduced from 5% to 4.5%. I said it's ridiculous. I kept that agreement away. I am leaving. I don't bother at all. I can't pay. Receive lesser amount. It is a matter of self-respect only. It is not a matter of 0.5%. I know that it is a marginal. They kept on insisting, said, okay, please, please, sir. I said, no. Even they said, we will check afterwards. You will gain immense money. Don't bother about 5.5%. I said, I don't bother at all. Then I returned back. In about 1 month, in about 10 days, Miss Marian sent another mail. She said that, okay, you have been provided another option to meet Kodak photo processing company. I visited Connaught Place also. They had sent me letter also of invitation also. I visited Connaught Place, but I wasn't satisfied with the cost of the machinery. It costed about 19 lakhs. Why will I spend 19 lakh for a photo processing company? Is a machine which will use silver nitrate and other kind of polluting materials. So I thought that the machine will be banned in few days and they will not allow, no one will allow me. Then I cancelled that also. And then I received another mail of Strawberry Restaurant. He kept on inquiring about Strawberry Restaurant in Kota, in Jaipur, but no one helped me to get proper information about Strawberry Restaurant. Otherwise, I would have succeeded in Strawberry Restaurant, but no one provided me proper information. And otherwise, also, restaurant is also a kind of polluting business, and air fumes would have annoyed everyone in the surroundings. I had enough place. The fifth, I have told you about the four. Next, Agrani, Kodak, and Strawberry. In the meantime, I decided to open my own electronics showroom in that same place. During 4th September 2004, I opened an electronics showroom at 14/473 Sundar Vihar, New Delhi. And even when I was tortured by DD and MCD, I decided to study. I told that the flesh Indian rented me. She was failed to tolerate these kind of abusive words. These kind of flashes are a valid bill. But that flesh person was so frustrated when he witnessed or in each and every part of the country. But he was so frustrated enough that white goods company isn't possessing any black money product. He was so frustrated that he started ranting against a girl without realizing that the honor is not available, and without realizing the emotions of that innocent girl. She was just 19 years of age, and without realizing he was such a nonsense and flesh Indian belonging to mosque demolition group that he utilized these kind of abusive and nonsense words. Even then, these flesh Indians belonging to mosque demolition group used to get jobs in sale tax and each and every company. Because they are flesh Indians, cockroaches only. And if I would have complained, they would have sent more flesh Indians. If I would have complained police, they would have sent more corrupt people to my venue. In spite of acting against that flesh person, moreover, she didn't ask for the name also, and he went away. but he didn't return back. And that was also a setback to my company because she had decided to change the job during those days, but without informing me. And I couldn't search more staff also. And in the meantime, they were torturing me again and again. One of the inspector came to my showroom. He said, "You should provide me that watch free of cost." In about a half hour, he'd selected a watch. I kept on showing him, opened several boxes. I was alone at about 9 p.m. At 9:30 p.m., he selected one of them, and he was wearing Delhi police uniform also. I denied, even without considering that my family had already planned to visit marriage of my immediate neighbor, and I had to miss that function also, just because of that foolish, arrogant, corrupt Delhi police sub-inspector who claimed to be a sub-inspector. At 11 p.m., even when I was at 11 p.m. also, I was denying offering bribe in the form of a watch, a brand new watch. He received a call from Satyam Cinema Patel Nagar that a bomb blast has been planted and exploded in Satyam Cinema, killing many people. Then I was spared just because of ISIS, just because of Lashkar Toiba, just because of great Pakistanis who bombarded weapons in Patel Nagar. I was spared. Otherwise, he would have collected a watch, managed to collect a watch from me because I had to visit my house also. I had to shut down that showroom also. I was losing money in the form of electricity expenses. And you can check that day. I can't remember whether that day is superimposed with marriage of Gandhi, a person living opposite, or the marriage ceremony or the engagement of Gandhi living opposite my house. The same person who ransacked my car, whether it was a coincidence, whether it was not, I wasn't aware, but it was a coincidence only because in the about 2 hours I was not using my mobile. I was not texting any Pakistan defense. I was not tweeting during 2005. There was no Twitter also, no Facebook also in my mobile. Moreover, I was not possessing any smartphone also. I don't know a number of any ISIS. I wasn't connected with any terrorist. It was a coincidence. Allah helped me. Allah killed Indians. It means Allah exists. In about 2.5 hours, I was tortured by that flesh Indian belonging to mosque demolition group, a Delhi police executive. And that was so shameless person. He wasn't ready to leave the showroom also. He wanted to collect a free watch, and I wasn't, without any reason. I said, "What my mistake? Have I committed any sin, committed any crime that I will offer you a free watch? I am selling products. I have bills of each and every product. Why will I provide you free watch? For what reasons? I don't offer bribe. In my whole life, I haven't paid bribe. Why will I offer you bribe? These kind of flashes are existing in this country. They are cockroaches only. After all, Indians are cockroaches only. They are insects and cockroaches. Now I don't take chances. FBI is always connected with me. This used to say Emmanuel. You can check Facebook of FBI. You can check Facebook of FBI right now. You will find Emmanuel written on top of their Facebook. They are always connected with me. I don't take chances at all. I used to broadcast, I used to tweet simultaneously all throughout the life. Not from just from that day, I was connected with FBI from earlier also. When flashes were visiting my factory, even then I was connected with FBI through emails, through OHCHR, through emails, through UNICEF. I was connected with UNICEF also. It was not a coincidence that UNICEF demanded a donation from me and then started following me on Twitter. It was not a coincidence at all. They know my email ID, that's why they know my Twitter also. They know my name, that's why they know my Facebook also. They know what happened in 2003, they know what happened in 2004, that's why they are connected in 2019 also. But Indians can't realize, they can't understand the continuity. I opted for that continuity because I had no other resources to bear more loss in my life. About 90% of my assets and wealth was ruined by mosque demolition group corrupt deities. I can't tolerate more losses. That's why I'm still connected and continuously connected from 18 years or 16 years with these kind of authorities throughout the world. That's why Indians are retracted back. They used to work for me as slaves only. Now, what will they do? They want to avoid national emergency. They want to avoid collapse of all the systems. That's why they are working for me. In all probable causes, in all permutations, I have become the king of the world. Not just because I possess powers, because I have utilized that method through which I want to connect with each and every law enforcement, the obedient, the honest law enforcement team of the whole world. Then I am in all permutations, in all mathematics, I am connected with each and every, I have created a network with each and every law enforcement team of the whole world. That is not an ordinary or common task. It was not happened ever. It hasn't happened till now with any person. And I can't forget that day when I paid 500 rupees in desperation and I wasn't possessing any money to buy Pediasure for my son. During 2003 when I was, and that was sting operation was also posted in yourlisten.com, in clip.it, in SoundCloud, which got thousands of views. And in all probable cause, I am always connected with FBI throughout the world. Not only New York, California, Washington, Boston. Even the FBI accepted my proposals. And when FBI want to appoint new chief of Boston, they contacted me. As a theoretical manner, they proved the whole world that I am connected with everyone. Not even a single leaf can move without permission of real Lord Shiv, who lives 21 light years away from Earth 1, and whose book has been kept prior to every book, because he real Lord Shiv Namo, the real Lord Shiv Namo, will live 21 light year away from Earth 1. And first names are being utilized. Even one of them is present in front of me. In all probable causes, you will also receive hell only. The another first name who want to differentiate between real life and social networking sites, and then his own father rented in favor of mosque demolition group leader Namo Dog. by appreciating higher denominations and shouting in the lobby of my house that you should deposit higher denomination currencies as a kind of black money and a challenge for the king of the world. Just because of the presence of spectacle, and that girl's name is that person named the brand also. And I've realized that these kind of names are being utilized. That is the biggest proof of the future is the mind.